The official start of summer is this weekend. We are in the middle of a heat wave here in Nova Scotia, and we've just had more restrictions lifted, so we can now have a gathering of up to 10 people without social distancing. So, the week is ending on a high note, at least at the time of this recording, and I thought we would just dedicate this episode to talking a little bit about summer. So stay tuned.
You're listening to the Wellness Simplified podcast. Simple wellness tips to help you improve your life without turning it upside down. With your host, award-winning fitness instructor, nutrition coach, and wellness expert, Susie Fevens.
Yes, summer. You are here, and it is going to be a different summer than we are used to. That is for sure. Now, a lot of people are used to traveling in the summer, going to visit different places. I don't tend to travel during the summer. I'm more of a fall traveler, so those plans are probably thrown out the window. But as for summer, my friends and I were sort of thinking about a big quote unquote trip to New Brunswick. We wanted to go to Grand Manan, we wanted to go see the puffins, and we're not allowed out of the province. So those plans have been kiboshed, but now that we can have social gatherings of up to 10 people, the most exciting thing for me and us is the fact that we can now carpool. The three of us can go places together, and that's all I've wanted. I've been saying for a month or more, I'm okay with being stuck, quote unquote. I'm not stuck really in Nova Scotia, not going anywhere, not having your normal summer. If the three of us can carpool, if we can go paddle boarding, if maybe we can rent a cottage for the weekend, all that sort of stuff. And now it looks like we're going to be able to do that. And I am so thankful. We still have a long ways to go worldwide. And, there's probably another wave coming at some point. It's inevitable. So who knows what the future is really going to hold. But I'm excited about summer. So let's start with that. So the next piece of business, now that I've got that off my chest, is you may have noticed, you probably didn't, I don't expect you to notice these things, that I didn't have a new episode the last couple of weeks. And the first week, it was purposely done because that was the week that I was silencing myself largely on social media to help promote and amplify Black voices. And then last week, I just didn't have anything I felt like I could add to the world. I've been fortunate that my business is already largely a virtual online business, so it hasn't been so hard for me to transition to having my in-person classes online. Obviously, they don't work for everybody. I have a lot of clients who have dial-up internet still because we live in a local or a rural, I should say, area, and so they can't really participate. And virtual classes are not the same as in-person classes. There's no way to get around that, but there's also no way to get around the fact that I can't teach my in-person classes like I normally would be able to at this time. Normally, I rent space from local community centers and town facilities, and all of those are closed for the foreseeable future. And as it is, I just don't know how I would ensure the cleanliness and be able to keep everybody safe. So will I be able to go back to in-person classes as I've seen them in the past? Honestly, I don't really know. I've read a few different articles about how classes like a yoga class, which is a lower intensity class, and not so sweaty. So this is taking away hot yoga. This doesn't fall under that category. It's probably going to be pretty relatively safe for studios to have yoga classes as long as they're keeping things clean and people are keeping social distancing the best as they can. It's going to be hard for anyone to maintain 6 feet distance between each person, but who knows where we're going to end up as far as those parameters go in a few months' time. But classes like Zumba and any really aerobic based class, they're saying that they can be a real breeding ground for the virus. So I honestly do not know if or when I'll be able to teach in-person Zumba classes. Now, one place I teach in is a really big hall, so it wouldn't be very hard for me to have 15 people in a class and have everybody spaced out. That wouldn't be a challenge. The other places I teach, it's going to be a little bit harder. Anyway, it's all things that I have to think about for now, at least until September. I'm doing the virtual thing aside from a handful of outdoor classes. And you know what? That just is taking some thinking. When we first locked down everything, went into quarantine, whatever you want to call it, I gave a pretty reasonable, package for people so they could do all their virtual classes without having to worry about finances, because we really didn't know what the situation was going to be. Now that things are opening back up, lots of people are back to work. I'm having to sort of navigate transitioning from that offering into offering more standard class pricing, because I still have to make a living. And I did qualify for the CERB, so I was able to get some government support for the last few months, and I know that technically I can probably get that for 2 more months because they've extended it to 24 weeks. But long pause, I don't really want to depend on that. I need to get back on my own feet, and a lot of things change. Like, I think I told you guys that in March I quit my job as a nutrition coach, and that was a huge chunk of my weekly income. And I quit because they weren't going to pay me. They were going to continue to get me to do all of my work, but maybe I'd get paid half the time. And I was like, no, thank you, please. If I'm going to be working for free, I'm working for myself. So that went out the window. Of course, my in-person classes, I went to that super inexpensive package for virtual classes, so there wasn't a lot of money coming in there. There's still some blog income and some stuff like that. So anyway, I feel like I'm starting over at square one, but not at square one. I feel like I've got a really unique opportunity right now to rebuild my business the way that I want it to be for the future. I do still plan to go back to some in-person classes, but like I said earlier, I don't know what those are going to look like. I don't know when they're going to happen. I don't know anything. Like, it may be that the days of renting space in a community center are behind us. I don't know. So I have to sort of soldier on and figure out what's going to be my life from here. And also, I'm not getting any younger. I'm going to be 39 this year, which I know is not old, but I was getting really tired of teaching 4 evenings a week, never being home, barely seeing my husband because he works Monday through Thursday and he works on Saturday. So really I only saw him on Friday afternoons and on Sundays, and sort of tired of it. And it's been really nice not having to be out teaching evening classes all the time. But on the flip side, a lot of my regular clients I'm not seeing because they can't or are unable or do not want to do virtual classes. And I don't know that I can really judge anything based on summer enrollment, because we all know, or maybe you don't know, I know that summer enrollment is always down. People are outside enjoying the sunshine, enjoying the good weather, and especially in a year after we spent a large part of our spring inside, the ability to go out and do things is going to be even more alluring. So I don't know. It's very possible that a lot of my regular folks are going to just say, you know what, I'm going to have to buck up and do virtual classes, or maybe I'll be back to real class. I don't know. I do not know. This has been a long ramble, so thanks for sticking with me. So I guess what all this is boiling down to is I am spending the summer doing 2 things. Number 1, rebuilding, recreating my business in the way that I want it to be moving forward. I still am going to be teaching fitness classes. I still love Zumba. I still love yoga. I still love my bar format, my strength training classes, all of that stuff. And then things that I do not particularly enjoy anymore, I'm letting go of. So I already let go of nutrition coaching, which I used to adore, but I think I got burnt out with too many people for too long, too many complaining people. Not all of them were complaining. If you were listening to this, you are not probably one of the complainers. I still have a handful of one-on-one coaching clients that I'm going to stick with, but otherwise I am done with that. Instead, I have created a nutrition journal that will do a lot of the same things that I did one-on-one. It's just that I won't be having my eyes on your journal. And I'm just waiting for the proofs to come in so I can make sure that everything is fine formatting wise, and then I'll share all that stuff with everybody. But I'm trying to find ways that I can not work myself to death, essentially. And that's a big thing with this virtual fitness world, is I'm able to record some things and have it available, like stagger the release of it. And another thing, and a bunch of you who listen to this this may come as a surprise to you, but I've been doing the at-home workout programs for the last couple of years. I'm done. I am done with those. Again, I have one or two clients who are in the middle of a personalized program that we kind of suspended when they were unable to go to the gym anymore. And those people, I will be finishing out those contracts with them, but I'm not going to be making those anymore because I friggin' hated it. I hated recording all those exercise demos. I hated all of that. What I do enjoy is teaching actual virtual classes, making sessions, virtual sessions of a specific topic, and teaching a class a week over however many weeks. I love that. So my online offerings are changing just like everything else, because I've discovered what I really enjoy and what I really dislike. And I sort of just want everybody to take a look at the way things have changed for them in the last few months. And there's been a lot of trash, there's a lot of trash, but there's also been some good things that we can find from these. And I'm hoping that as life, quote unquote, goes back to normal, because it's never going to truly be normal, you recognize the things that you thought you needed before, or thought that you had to do before, that you haven't done in the last few months, and realize that, hey, I don't actually need that in my life at all. I'm thinking of the people the families who've been so overbooked with so many activities, like running every single night, 2 to 3 things, and haven't had to do that for months. Like, isn't it nice not to have to be running around constantly? Like, what can you let go of? Maybe when you go back, if your kids are in 3 or 4 activities, get them to choose their favorite one, the one that they miss the most, or the 2, whatever, and just make your life a little bit less hectic. I keep thinking about this video, and you've probably seen it. It was one of those ones, it was a guy, and he's like reading his kids this bedtime story, and it's talking about the great whatever of 2020, talking about all the things that happened. And I just, like, kudos to whoever realized this. But you know how they always say hindsight is 2020, and this is 2020. And now it's like, after this is through, we're going to have all this hindsight. I don't know. But I keep thinking about that. I keep thinking about how one of my favorite pastimes or relaxing things to do was just go to the store and just wander around and browse. Like, I didn't even buy things most of the time. I haven't missed that at all. Not even a second. Like, I haven't got the least bit of an urge to go into a store, aside from maybe a grocery store. And I haven't been in a grocery store since March either. I went into Michael's to get my stuff to organize my embroidery floss, but I was in and out in about 5 minutes, and that was it. And I haven't missed it at all. And I just think everybody must have those things that they realize that they don't miss. So when things open up more, why bring those back? Those things that you ended up not missing at all, and that made your life so much less complicated to not have them in it. Just don't bring them back. I feel like this episode is just nothing but a bunch of ramblings of nonsense, but I hope that something is ringing true for you. Anyway, the other part of this episode is to say, see you later for a while. The podcast isn't going away, but while I am rebuilding my business and figuring all that sort of stuff out, I am also trying to take some time off this summer. I'm trying to cut back and enjoy the fact that I can use some pre-recorded classes, and I don't have to be doing hours and hours of nutrition coaching every day, and I don't have to be doing all these things, and just enjoy some downtime. I've been teaching fitness for like 12 years, and it is time to have a little bit of a rest. So that's the other part of this, is I'm not going away. You'll still see me on social, but the podcast is going to go on hiatus for the summer, just so it's one last thing that I have to think about on a weekly basis. And then come fall, when I'm ready to get back to class, so to speak, the podcast will return. But for the summer months, we're just going to we're just going to chill. We're just going to chill. And I hope that you do the same. And above all, I hope you are happy and healthy and having a great day. Thanks so much for tuning in. As always, make sure you are following me on Facebook at facebook.com/confessions of a fitness instructor, on Instagram at Suzy Confesses, SUZI Confesses. That's where you'll find me mostly throughout the summer, is Facebook and Instagram. Yeah. Have a wonderful summer, and I will talk to you in September.